Today is Friday, April 5.
April 5.
We have got War of the Spark previews ongoing. Jake, we got some crazy cards to talk about today.
Heartfire is too good.
Let's get into it. We're not going to waste...
It is too good.
We're not going to waste any time. Let's go!
Hello, and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake, You Say It.
Joel and Jake. Oh, no. You freaked me out. I'm not going to say it.
Before we get into our War of the Spark previews, I want to ask you a favor. Tell a friend about our channel and hit that subscribe button down there. It really helps us out. Jake, tell him how I tell you to say this.
Yeah, that's what he does. He tells me to say that. But he's saying it today. I'm not saying anything.
Let's get into the spoilers. So today we got some pretty spicy cards. The top row, we got 2, maybe 3. Before we even start scrolling, you can see right here we're at Friday, April 5, 2019. 26 new cards, and then we're going to go down to Thursdays because we haven't covered those yet. Jake, 3 of the 4 that we're looking at here are already freaking us out.
Yeah, so the one in the middle is not in English, but what it says is whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, proliferate.
Yeah, that's insanity.
So we've just found a really good creature that's going to help us proliferate effects.
Right.
hit.
Exactly. And also, I mean, look at this.
Good.
Atraxa, this is an auto-include. It's like they printed an auto-include card for a very well-established commander deck. So I want to say, hold on to your foil evolution sages. That's just a given.
Yeah, I think this card it's really, really good. I'm excited to see how it impacts the format. It will, if there is a Planeswalker deck that ends up taking off in this format because of War of the Spark, and I imagine there will be. Yep. There are a lot of cards to tinker with, and that one will definitely be playing alongside Planeswalkers.
So next, let's pivot into the opposite of green, which is red, Heartfire. Are you kidding me? I tweeted this right when I saw it. Are you kidding me with this card? Did we need more tools for the mono red deck? There were some people that were like, this is ridiculous, and some people were like, oh, it's too restrictive. You're not going to always have a sacrifice creature to use for the casting cost with that deck. But I mean, there is a certain 2-cost wizard that comes in and shocks a player that this is going to turn into an insane Goblin Grenade.
Well, here's the thing. And you just brought up Goblin Grenade, and that's the important point, is people do play Goblin Grenade in Goblin-based decks.
Right.
And the mono red deck, you know, it runs 4 Vishino Pyromancers. It runs 4 of the, what's the little pirate, Joel? You know who he is. 1-cost pirate.
Yeah, he's a 1/2. He's a wizard too. He gets +1/+0 for instants and sorceries in your graveyard.
Oh, well, that, but then also the pirate.
The Goblin Pirate. Yeah. I know
so
you're talking
that's
about.
12 targets we're talking about, and then also when you think about something like Rekindling Phoenix, which is a recurable, target.
Yeah.
This is going to be an interaction.
The thing is that it's instant speed, man. Instant speed is the crazy part here. Yeah. At sorcery, I'm like, this card's pretty good. At instant, I'm like, this card is ridiculous. You brought up earlier, you block with a Vishino Pyromancer, you negate, the 6 damage, whatever's coming at you. In response, Heartfire, sack 4 to your face.
Yeah, before blocking damage. Yeah, so you declare the target blocked and you're sacking, dealing 4. That's a lot of value out of 4 mana.
Right.
In a standard format where most likely if you're playing red, you've already done, 12 to 14 damage by the time you have 4 mana on the board. Easily.
And you have Heartfire in your hand, you top deck Vishino Pyromancer, play it 2 damage, sack it, cast Heartfire, GG. Ridiculous.
Also, I think Boros tokens are going to be really well placed, and Heartfire is going to play in there, in a heartbeat.
Yep, absolutely. Also, Aristocrats. Aristocrats are getting a lot more love, and so this might go into a Rakdos-based deck that has to do with sacrifice effects. I mean, this Judith on the field. Imagine just the little stage goblin that when it dies, I forget its name, but when it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. So you got Judith, you got that on the battlefield. You're sacking the Gobbo to cast Heartfire. That's 5 damage. Judith deals an extra damage. That's 6. Kind of ridiculous. That's it. I think this card is going to play.
It adds up pretty quick. Also, let's talk about Aid the Fallen.
Yeah, real quick. This is kind of a sleeper card. It's a common, so it's not going to be hugely expensive, but I think the foil could do some things. You were talking about it.
Yeah, the foil from like a modern standpoint, like getting back like a Death Shadow and like a Liliana of the Veil for 2 mana.
That's insanity.
Yeah, I mean, modern is all about resources.
Sure.
And so Aid the Fallen, like, this is just so much value for 2 mana. I don't think it's the kind of card that you run a 4 of, obviously.
Right.
But you're never going to hate to see this late game. Ever.
Not at all. A lot of times in modern, I don't play it a lot, but most of what everybody talks about, it's whoever gets their thing to stick
to resolve
first and stay and swing through and win. And if you need the shit back because it got removed, Aid the Fallen is pretty damn good. I really like that return.
So much value on 2 mana.
Right,
it's
creature and
crazy,
Planeswalker
dude.
to the hand. That's insanity.
Yeah.
Let's scroll
Look
down.
out
We
for
got
that
some
foil.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pick them up while you can.
I really think that's going to be a valuable foil. We've got Blind Blast, Goblin Assailant. We got some commons here. You were a fan of Blind Blast.
Yeah, dude. I mean, really quick, it's just... It's the kind of card where you can just get through. You know,
right.
there's in a limited standpoint, it cantrips, so it's really nice.
Right.
It's instant speed, you know, which is super sexy. And if it comes down to like, oh man, they have one big target, you know, you can just blind blast through, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. Under that, we got some other combat tricks that are going to be limited only. 10th District Legionnaire. You know, hasty 2/2 for Boros with whenever you cast a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it, scry. There's a lot of value on an uncommon right there. We'll see if it makes it into standard, but in limited, that's a pretty damn good card.
Yeah, it's good.
A lot of
the Courage in Crisis could end up being a card that plays alongside Planeswalkers because we don't have something like Tezzeret's Gambit or Steady Progress. You know, this is the card that's comparable to cards like those.
Right.
So in a Planeswalker deck, I could imagine, you know, this card probably plays.
Absolutely. Down here, Neoform, we got a one-off birthing pod effect. Over here, we got Mayhem Devil. I gotta tell you, Mayhem Devil is one that people have been talking about. There's an Aristocrats deck really forming up that's going to be super solid.
It's like Uncommon Judith.
Right, exactly. If this deck receives from the rest of this set a 0-cost sack outlet, I think Aristocrats is going to be a true thing, and Mayhem Devil is going to be one of the enablers.
Yeah, this is pretty good, man.
Yeah. Absolutely it is. Past that, you got a 4/4 for 4 that's going to proliferate when it enters the battlefield. Yeah. 2/2, I mean a 1/1 for 2 that's going to either give you a counter or proliferate. Then we get to a very fun
That's
row.
Strong. That card is strong.
The Pollenbright Druid?
Yeah, having a 2-cost 1/1 body that comes in and proliferates your Planeswalkers. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Super good.
Yeah.
So down here, we're going to get to Massacre Girl because this is the talk of the town today. But I want to talk about Tomic, the Distinguished Advocist. Flying 2/3, lands on the battlefield, lands in graveyards, can't be targets. Your opponents can't play lands from the graveyards.
This is some hardcore sideboard tech.
This is ridiculous sideboard tech. And I want to tell you that on the same day, it was spoiled alongside Mobilized District. 4 for 4, this colorless tapping land becomes a 3/3 creature with Vigi until end of turn, still a land. Costs 1 less for each legendary creature, hello Tomic, and Planeswalker you control. So these two cards together is kind of fun because you got a 2/3 for 2 with flying. For some reason they wanted one more keyword on there. That if alongside Mobilized District creates a 3/3 hexproof with Vigilance for 3. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, man. Like,
yeah, man, that's pretty much what can be said. So
I like that Mobilized District isn't legendary. It's just like,
right.
I think this is a really good manland.
Absolutely. And without spoiling the movie, I don't know if you've seen Us yet. I'm pretty sure you have.
Yeah.
Without spoiling it for anybody who hasn't seen it, it's kind of funny how this lines up. Yeah, so the people who've seen Us will get that. I won't spoil it for anybody else. It's kind of funny. Massacre Girl. This one requires a conversation.
It's inside Massacre Worm.
Yeah, I guess Massacre Worm explodes and Massacre Girl pops out. This is a card that is a 4/4 with menace for 5, black 3. Yep. When she enters the battlefield, each other creature gets -1/-1, and then you're going to repeat that for every creature that dies. So on the surface,
other than Massacre Girl,
she's going to survive. So if you on the surface, if you kill a 1/1, it's then going to get all your 2/2s. If you kill at least a 2/2, then it's going to get all your 3/3s. And that's straight up the line. You also have to think about if there are 6 1/1s on the battlefield when this thing enters the battlefield, it's going to kill everything 6/6 and lower. That's ridiculous.
This thing eats Carnage Tyrant for breakfast. If you build it into like an Aristocrats build, it's like, all right, it's time to clear through and just wipe everything.
I gotta tell you, I love this card. As a black player that really wants to play swamps and play black creatures and black spells, this is the kind of thing that will absolutely enable a possible mono black deck, and then is just going to be good in pretty much any deck that can run it.
A legendary creature.
Right. Well, yeah, they don't want you to repeat it, because when Massacre Girl enters the battlefield, imagine playing a second one, it doesn't kill the other one, and then you're just pushing through. They had to make this legendary to make it work.
Yeah.
Let's move on down. We got an Iron Bully. It's going to be a common for limited, most likely. When it enters, put a +1/+1 counter. We got Menace. Down here, we got a Flying Merfolk. That's pretty cool, and it's got a lot of keywords on it. It's got the Flying 1/1 for 2. Enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter, so it can put it on itself. And for 5, it's going to proliferate. Limited house. It has maybe playable.
Oh my god, from limited, dude? Yeah, and I think it'll see constructed play as well.
Yeah, I think it's very possible that it does.
Having Proliferate built into a card as a repeatable effect.
Yeah, as a mana dump.
This is good.
Insanity. Over here we got a Grateful Apparition. When it deals combat damage, Proliferate. Over here we got put 2 +1/+1 counters, and it can't be blocked. Right here, I want to talk about this card. We're gonna pull it up. It's a Mizzium Tank.
Grateful Apparition is literally a Thrumming Bird.
Oh yeah, it really absolutely is. Mizzium Tank.
That's crazy.
No, here, let's talk about Grateful Apparition real fast.
Hold on, I want to know what is the difference between it and Thrumming Bird, other than that Thrumming Bird is blue.
Thrumming Bird, isn't it on the attack, or am I wrong about that? Let's pull it up real fast. Thrumming Bird is, no, when it deals combat damage, it's a flying 1/1. Oh, look at this. Oh, when it deals combat damage to a player, and then Grateful Apparition when it deals combat damage to a player or Planeswalker. Hello.
I mean, Thrumming Bird could... Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So it's better than Thrumming Bird.
It's a strictly better, but it's in white, so it's in different colors. I want to talk about Mizzium Tank. This is a self-crewing vehicle whenever you cast a non-creature spell. If that becomes a 4/3 with trample that can swing through. Do you think this is good?
Yes, it is good.
I think it is too. I think that this card can potentially see play. Of course, in limited it's a house, but I think that this could possibly see standard play. Right now, the Goblin Legionnaire, Legion Goblin something, the one that on the attack step creates a 1/1 and can mentor. That's a possible 3-drop in the mono-red deck. But this is a card that could take that spot. I mean, consider this. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, so this is going to trigger for every time you cast a shock 2 damage. Now you've got the Rakdos ability to make your Skewer the Critics only 1 mana. You cast that. That's 5 damage. This thing is triggered twice, so now it's a 5/4 with trample. I think the trample keyword here is really what sets it above.
You know what? This card is going to be really, really annoying to play against, because You're not going to know when to swing because someone could just be like, in response, opt. In response, it becomes a creature until end of turn.
That's a good point. The blue-red cantrips deck that's been running around too. That could be a good card
in
for
response, and then all of a sudden you're just like, radical idea.
Yeah, it's a good ground threat for that.
And
like,
until you're ready to swing with it, like, dude, you could just play it.
Right.
And until you're ready to swing with it, you could just like wait until you have dive down ready. Yeah. So you get to decide when it becomes a creature. So unless they're holding artifact destruction, it's like an indestructible creature that you get to decide when it becomes vulnerable.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's nuts.
Finishing out Friday, we've got Rescuer Sphinx, a 3/2 flyer for 4 enters the battlefield, return a non-land permanent, and Makeshift Battalion. So yeah, let's move in to Thursday. Top row. Yep, these are yesterday's. Devouring Hellion, I think that this is a possibility for the Aristocrats deck because it does allow you to sacrifice creatures for 3. Whenever you sacrifice any number of creatures or planeswalkers, it gets twice that many +1/+1 counters. That's pretty solid. 5/3 hexproof for 5, 7/6 for 6.
Yeah, just some vanilla limited stuff.
Yeah, that's some limited stuff. Moving down though, we've got a Pouncing Lynx. Now, when I saw this card, I thought of you, and I think you know why. Jake loves the 3/1 for 2 in any set. Yeah. I think that this card is a better version of that. They've taken 1 power away and given it first strike as long as it's your turn. Plus,
it's an amazing draftable.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Plus the art on this is sick. Look at the motion on this art. Look at the motion of that lynx. Jumping up onto the fence, jumping up onto this partition, whatever this stone wall is.
Yeah, they need to be careful.
Yeah, getting around the crowd to jump on whoever the viewer is here and absolutely screw them up. Next to that, we've got Role Reversal. Exchange control of 2 target permanents that share a permanent type for 3 mana, blue, blue, red. Hello, Commander.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Obviously, great commander card.
Is so
I think
fun.
that if you build around it, this could see constructed play in standard as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's at sorcery speed, but for 3 mana, we're going to be able to exchange, you know, my 1/1 flyer for your whatever enormous beater. Niv Mizzet.
This could be like a yeah, true. I think this card ends up being like a 2 of or a 3 of in the sideboard for when you're like, oh, they're playing Teferi. I want to be able to sneak my, you know, I don't know, like Tybalt. You trade a Tybalt for a Teferi. And
any of the uncommon walkers that find standard play in these colors get swapped out for the opposing Teferi. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Next to that, we got a 1/1 for 1 black lifelinking haste Nightmare Hound. What do you think of this card? Oh, cool sick art. Absolutely.
Fair card.
Yeah, it's fair. I don't think it's going to be huge. I mean, it's
yeah, you know what? I mean, if I was hurting for like 1 or 2 drops in a draft, I'd probably pick it up. Yeah. Easy decision.
Next to that, we've got 2 that kind of go hand in hand. We've got the Spell Keeper weird, and we've got the Spell Gorger weird.
In limited.
Yeah, absolutely. Go get the target instant or sorcery back to your hand. This, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets a +1/+1 counter, which is huge. Not just until end of turn, but it gets the counter. And so these are a nice little pair, and if you'll even notice, they are in each other's art. So that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's super neat.
Yeah, I wish that they had gone all the way and made these partners, but they just didn't want that mechanic in this set.
Is it the same artist then?
James, and yeah, it is.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is very cool. After that, we've got Bulwark Giant, a 3/6, gain 5 life for 6. It's an interesting common for limited. It's something that I would consider playing.
Yeah, I would play it. Gaining 5 is big.
And then that 6 butt, that's pretty huge.
Hey, yeah, 6 butt is huge, baby.
And then we can end strong with Tolsimir, Friend to Wolves. When Tolsimir, Friend to Wolves enters the battlefield, create Voja, Friend to Elves, a legendary 3/3 green and white wolf creature token. Whenever a wolf enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 3 life, and that creature fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. There are so many words on this card, I can't believe they fit all of what they wanted to on Tolsimir.
Limited house.
Oh, ridiculous. Dude. Ridiculous and limited. You
comes
got
in
removal,
six
life
power
gain,
for 5 and
right.
And life gain and removal. Like, bro.
This card is ridiculous and limited. Do you think it's going to see standard play?
As a 1 of or a 2 of in certain decks, yeah, I think it will, because like late game, this is like on curve, this is a great card.
Yeah.
But late game, it's just as good.
Absolutely.
You know,
people
it's like
have been
the kind
screwing
of thing
around with Vanifar pod decks, and this is the kind of card that I would want to run as a 1 of in a Vanifar pod deck. Pod away whatever 4-cost creature that I've got on the battlefield already. That 2 green, 2 other, when it dies, create 2 soldiers. That 2/2/2 soldiers is a great target to pod into Tolsimir. I mean, at that point, you are wide. You're gaining life. You're killing whatever 3-butt you want to. I think this card has the potential to see standard for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool card. Man, I hope it ends up in my sealed pool.
Yeah, oh my god. This would be a sick one to pull on the sealed limited pre-release day. That is going to get us through Thursday and Friday's spoilers. Jake, have you got any last points you want to make about what we saw today?
Oh man, no, but I will comment.
Yeah.
It is crazy what's going on with Smothering Tithe right now.
What's about Smothering Tithe?
So Smothering Tithe just, I guess, is getting bought out by speculators, but it went up so high. It went up from like 3 to 5, and then all of a sudden from like 5 to 10.
Yeah, right here we're looking at 865 on the scale.
And that's like super low. Like all of those are getting bought out, and then the foil has jumped up to like $30 to $40.
Really?
So this card right now, just out of nowhere, is on everybody's radar. I think everybody sees that it's kind of like a Ristic study. It's absolutely insane in EDH what you get away with if people don't pay the 2. You paint a big target on your face, but the power level of this card is just absolutely shenanigans.
So there's a little finance tip for you here at the end of the video. Everybody, thank you so much.
You can find them low.
Yeah, get them now. Get your Smothering Tithes now. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Again, if you like it, subscribe. Do us a favor, tell a friend about our channel. Other than that, I am tapped out. Jake?
And I am on a never-ending search for personal health and happiness and wellness.
Later!